hello everyone. So I just watched Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and I know I'm late. I know it came out months ago, but I didn't watch it when it came out because I was in the process of moving. I was in the process of finding an apartment and moving and everything, so I didn't go watch it when it came out. But I remember when it came out, seeing all of these things. Like I didn't watch any videos about it. I didn't uh, read anything about it or look at anything about it. I just remember when it came out seeing all these things of people saying that it was the worst thing ever, that it was an insult to video game adaptations, and that it was the worst movie ever and everything. And now, to be fair, I heard people say that about the first movie, which I really loved. I really loved the first movie. I really loved the first movie. It wasn't as scary as I hoped, but I still liked the first Five Nights at Freddy's movie, and I even made a video like right after watching it where I went like, "This is the best video game adaptation ever," because I really loved that. I really liked the first Five Nights at Freddy's movie. So I didn't watch Five Nights at Freddy's 2 when it came out because I was just busy uh, moving and also just dealing with stuff going on in my life. So I finally got it. I got Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie on, like, I got on DVD, and I just finished watching it, and the entire internet lied. The entire internet lied, saying this was the worst movie ever, that it was an insult. Like, honestly, I loved it. I loved this movie. I even like it more than the first movie. This movie was so good. I really loved almost everything about it. There was some things I did not like about it, but overall, I really liked this movie. Uh, so I think very much just talk about the things I didn't like about it, because there was really only two things I didn't like about it, and it was mainly the beginning of the movie wasn't. The beginning of the movie I didn't like that much, mainly because, and I'm gonna go a little bit into spoilers. I'm not gonna like. Well, I am gonna go into spoilers, but like not. I'm not gonna go into like an extremely deep detail about it. I'm just gonna give like a little overview, really, just how I felt. But the beginning of the movie, I did not think was good. One, it felt very rushed, and also it felt just unbelievable, really, because the beginning of the movie, they have Charlotte like trying to warn parents about, she sees a kid about getting murdered by William Afton, and she's like running up to adults being like, "Your kid is in trouble," and all these adults are telling her, "Oh, shut up, like, shut up, don't talk to me." And it's just, the adults at the beginning of the movie were just so mean, to the point I'm just like, okay, it doesn't feel believable. It's not believable at all. Like, even the most heartless adult who hates kids, if a kid runs up and said, "Hey, somebody's in danger," I don't think they would tell that kid "fuck off," which is basically what every single adult at the beginning of this movie did. And that very much drew me out of it, where I was just like, okay, like I just, this feels, this feels so fake that I can't even like just be like, okay, I can't just go along with it, because I'm just like, no, this feels so forced. So like that, that beginning of the movie, I didn't like, really like it. That was not a good opening to the movie. And then the second thing I didn't like, and this was a kind kind of much bigger problem, because it was throughout the entire movie, was how the puppet was used, which, in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the puppet, I honestly think the puppet is one of my favorite animatronics in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I love the gameplay mechanic of the music box and everything. I know everyone complains about the music box and how you always have to uh, keep it wound up, but I actually really like it. But with, the puppet in this movie, I did not like how they used the puppet in this movie, because to me it very much seemed like they they very much made the puppet kind of like this spirit slash demon that possessed people, which is like, that's not what the puppet is. The puppet is, it's a marionette. It's not a demon that possesses and takes over people. And so like I didn't really like that about like how they use, but I'm fine with them being like, Charlotte wants to kill all the kill all parents because she feels like she was failed by grown-ups. So it's like, okay, I'm fine with the motivation, and especially when you with the idea of her being like this restless spirit that wants to like kill like all parents. It's like I'm fine with that. My problem is honestly more so just how they handled the puppet, making her kind of like this demon, which is just like that's not what the puppet is. And like honestly, that kind of goes away from Five Nights at Freddy's and into like a entirely different genre and everything. But overall, like everything else about the movie, I really liked. Like I liked how Mike's character was in this. I liked Vanessa's character. I really liked the scene when she went asleep to visit her past and confront her and confront William Afton. And just the scene from cutting from her being a kid to being an adult to her being a cop, and just like I really liked that. And I also just really like just how the animatronics looked. I already like I love how the toy animatronics look in FNAF 2, and I really think they did a great job with recreating them in this movie, just like how they did a great job recreating them in the first movie. And the voices was actually really good. Like I did not expect the voices to actually be really good. The Toy Freddy, his voice is really good. Megan Fox actually did a great job at Chica. I think she did a great job as Chica, which I was very worried about because she did voice acting in Mortal Kombat and she was terrible in it. So I did not expect. I was not expecting her to do a good job as Chica, but I actually did really enjoy her as Chica. And Matt Pat as Bonnie was okay, but because of like I know they did something to his voice so it doesn't sound exactly like Matt Pat, which is a good thing because if it was just Matt Pat then it would be very distracting. But like really, Megan Fox as Chica, which if I remember correctly, I think Chica had the most, other than the marionette, had the most lines of dialogue in this, and Megan Fox did a great job as Chica. And just the FNAF 2 location just looked amazing, and I really loved how they brought in the FNAF 2 gameplay into the movie, which I don't remember if I said it in my video about the first movie, but if I remember correctly, the first movie did not really have any moments where it recreated the gameplay of Five Nights at Freddy's 1. And I really liked how this movie, like there was a full moment where Mike was full on doing Five Nights at Freddy's 2. He was like there was a moment where he had to close the vents. He had to like he put on the Freddy mask multiple times, and it worked on like all the other animatronics other than Foxy. He had Balloon Boy come in and mess everything up, and I absolutely loved that they put in the FNAF 2 gameplay of like they put in the gameplay of FNAF 2 into the movie, and I just really love that. And then also the minute he put on the Freddy mask, I immediately just thought of that like skit where it's like 5 a.m. at Freddy's and Foxy's yelling at Freddy. He's like, "That's a security guard." He's like, "No, that's Freddy." "Oh yeah, Freddy." And like I that just popped in my head. I just started laughing during that scene. And like I really liked the ending of the old animatronics, the FNAF 1 animatronics, like destroying the FNAF 2 animatronics. I like it was a short scene, but it was a short scene, but I really liked it. I really liked it. It felt like a really nice ending to the movie. And honestly, I'm excited for FNAF 3. I'm excited for Five Nights at Freddy's 3 and excited for Springtrap being the main villain. And I really think, unlike the game FNAF 3, I really think the movie's going to be better. I really think the movie Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is going to be way better than the game Five Nights at Freddy's 3, which I made a video about, and you can see my feelings about that game. And I'm probably going to remake the video about the videos about Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and Five Nights at Freddy's 2 eventually. So just keep your eye out on that. But I really loved this movie. I really loved it, and honestly, it was better than the first movie. This movie was way better than the first movie, and Dude, the internet just lies. The internet just lies. They they don't think for themselves. The internet doesn't think for themselves. IGN and all these review sites said it was bad, so therefore everyone else said it was bad. And I'm positive they didn't even watch the movie. And it's just like, no, this movie was great. This movie was great. It was better than the first movie. And like honestly, I'm kind of happy I didn't watch it when it came out, because I watched the first movie right when it came out, and I felt like I was the only person being like, no, I really love this movie, and while everyone else was saying it was garbage. But I really love this movie, and honestly, I'm actually surprised that Five Nights at Freddy's had been able to make two really good movies, like especially just one, because my faith in video game adaptations are not good. Like I do not have trust with video game adaptations, and I haven't seen season 2 of Fallout yet, but season 1 was really good, and both Five Nights at Freddy's movies have been great, and I've just been really love it. I've been just really love these movies, and this movie was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I am excited for Five Nights at Freddy's 3 whenever it comes out. Like I am really excited for that movie.